Wow.
The return.
Yeah. We never left. We're always here.
Welcome back. It's the Miserable Mets podcast after a nice little hiatus. But we're back. If you follow us on Twitter or on X, we've been yapping on there. Giving our 2 cents on all the BS that happens. The up and down emotions of everything that happens, the injuries, the underwhelming performances, the rough start. It's been a long time, so we got a lot to cover. We're not going to try to cover everything, but we'll cover the recent stuff and what's applicable to the Mets today. We're recapping here after the West Coast trip, where we just came off of 2 series, with the Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants, and we're 3-3 off that trip. I'm feeling pretty good about it. How you feeling about the Mets so far to this point and after this West Coast trip?
I feel like they took us to like Six Flags for like the whole month. It was just a lot of up and down, like a roller coaster. Like that was obviously the worst start that we could have probably asked for. It gave you what was it, Willie Randolph vibes, because I think I remember he started 0-6, which I hope we have the same ending. But no, I mean it took me by surprise that we were that flat coming out of spring training, and a lot of the pieces that we expected to do good, some stayed flat up to just recently. I did like, though, from the beginning how we at least fought. We were always in it, so you always knew that the 0-5 start was just on paper. 0-5, you knew that we were, like if we got blown out, all 5 games, and geez, I would have been like, uh-oh. But I do like how we battled constantly and, went on a streak. I don't think we recorded when we got JD Martinez. So I think it's a great first episode in a long time, because now we have like almost a full month done. And I think now we're starting to shape out what the team really is. I think it's a playoff contending team. Everyone, I think, has to pull their weight. We got JD coming Friday, God willing, which is going to be a huge addition. Senga is around the corner too. We lost Alvarez, which is huge. I read today, though, they're thinking maybe mid-June, was it? So that's not too bad. I don't think we have that many division games from now till then. So I think we're going to be able to definitely stay over 500, stay afloat. We've lost to bad teams, and we've beat some really, really good teams. And you can't say the same thing for a lot of teams right now, especially in our own division. So that to me is a good sign that we are who we are. We're nowadays in baseball, for you to make the playoffs, you don't have to be a 90-win team, 100-win team. So I think we are that 85, 86, 87 win team, and I think we're at par. What do you think?
Yeah, I think after that rough start, I think it was encouraging to play these good teams. The Mets have had one of the toughest schedules in the league. Facing every team we face has been over 500. To this point, so we're not beating, the White Sox.
Yeah,
we're
the
not,
Rockies.
we're not beating the Rockies. We're beating teams. Cincinnati Reds, a young, really good young team. The Dodgers. We're beating teams that are
Braves
supposed to be good. Yeah, I mean any series that we can beat the Braves is a huge win.
Amen.
Whether it's in April, May, whatever. Because as we know, every game counts, and that is very encouraging for this team moving forward. Because if we were having these stretches of beating crap teams, then it'd be a little bit more of a false hope. But I think the fact that we're able to compete day in and day out, have a consistent lineup, have young guys producing, it's nice to see, and it's great that I guess the brass of the team, the Mendoza and Stearns and the front office and all them, they stuck to their guns early on. Everyone in the media, the fans, everywhere were panicking. Um,
Us to an
yeah,
extent.
yeah, we were panicking. I mean, you start 0-5 and you look horrible. You kind of second guess everything that they've done to the point where it's like, well, it looks like we might as well just start thinking about next year already. But baseball's 162, and they stuck to their guns. They stuck to their players, their roster, and they started to turn things around. We've seen a total evolving of Brett Beatty. I mean, he's like a whole different person.
Hmm.
It's like they replaced him with somebody else. Like, I don't recognize him at all. Just the way he carries himself, runs the bases, fields. The dude's he's totally turned it around in the field.
Total package.
Where, yeah, I mean, he's amazing. I mean, and I mean, I can just go down the whole path of Beatty himself. But I do got to say, with the point that I was making of they stuck to their guns. They stuck with Beatty in the beginning of the season. They kept Vientos down in Triple A, even though he's been hot in Triple A. They kept him down there, and they gave Beatty that confidence. Like, you're our guy. You're the third baseman. You don't have to worry about if you go hitless for 2-3 games in a row. We're not going to be replacing you. He's not constantly looking over his shoulder, and I think that across the board has helped this team a lot. McNeil went through his spell, and he was in there every day, got a chance to fight through it. Lindor was still going through the spell, and we saw him break out today a bit
Oof.
with a few hits
Jeez.
and two home runs. So,
Moonshots.
yeah, I mean, we've seen the consistency in the lineup and the confidence in their players pay off. Nimmo, another one. I mean, you can say about every single person in the lineup. Bader, started off like crap, and then he heated up. You see it with the pitching, with the relievers that we have, and
We're
it's a
tops in
good
the majors, right?
formula.
We're tops in the majors. I think our bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing formula, and it's crazy to see the Stearns effect already taking place in the first
Hmm.
month of the year. I mean, it's getting the absolute highest value out of people that you would never expect. I mean, I think there's no better example than Reed Garrett. I mean, the dude is amazing.
Yeah.
He came in there again today and picks up the win, and he's striking everyone out. He's just throwing strikes. Has a nice sweeper. I mean, the dude is what a find he is.
Yeah.
I and it's like that's what Stearns does, and it's amazing to see him cooking with what we have on paper and what it could be throughout the course of 162. So it's going to be a fun year for sure. Regardless if we make the playoffs, do anything in the playoffs at all, I think it'll be a fun year because he just seems to be very creative and he just shocks you. I mean, we were hoping that we would get JD Martinez, but we didn't really know. And I mean, last week of spring training, he picks him up on a heck of a great deal, and we should be seeing him on Friday at a perfect time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really fun. We're at a really fun time to be a Mets fan because really we have no expectations. The Mets had no expectations from just from like the league in general to do anything this year. So anything that we do is just anything good that we do is just a plus.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I'm loving it. What has been your your favorite thing, or your biggest surprise so far that's happened this year, like player or whatever?
Well, I mean, the bullpen that literally has Stearns all over it. He literally, piece by piece, put that together, and to see that we're last I checked, we're definitely top three. I know that for a fact. I think at one point we were tops in the league. That to me is shocking. And it says wonders because, coming into the season, we knew that our staff was what it was. Then we lost Senga, and we're like, man, we're going to have to rely, on our, long arms. And they have, I mean, to me, they're the MVP.
Yeah.
It's that bullpen. And encouraging are a few of the pieces that I wouldn't say were thrown in, but probably your favorite. You called it when you first saw him, Tyrone Taylor, and you called it from the beginning. You said, right off out of spring, he impressed the crap out of you, and it's great. Beatty, all like from the pitching to the hitting. Beatty to me too. For me, has been like the biggest surprise for me. I mean, I think everyone gave up on him. Everyone maybe thought that it just wasn't for him. New York, playing third, and you got to give a young kid props that he plays in probably the toughest market. He had a horrible year last year. You can't run from the media, and it seems like he just in the winter just grinded. He said, "Listen, this is my shot, and it's what I do with it that's going to dictate what's going to happen to me." And I believe, even though Vientos at the time would have been, most people's choices, I think you have to give the nod to Beatty because of the fact that how I think he worked. He worked so hard. You don't go from last year to this year. You know that. Like you don't do the guy on all assets like hitting, defense. I mean IQ. The guy, he steals bases. Like what? Where was this last year? You didn't see it. And we had, we're dying. We're dying for a third baseman, man. So it's just it feels good that they didn't give up on him. And now at early signs, it looks like if Vientos keeps mashing, I think he's going to be the odd man out, and you're going to see him probably be the possible biggest trade chip because the other kids that are coming up that we bought last year, the Acuñas, the Jets, the Jet Williams, who else? Gilbert. They're starting to pick it up too, and they're young, and so I think again, kudos to Stearns. We jumped the gun as Mets fans a lot, man, and it's with reason most of the time, but let the guy cook. This is definitely, I don't care what anyone says, it definitely is still a show me year. But in the league now, you can make the playoffs, by accident, basically. So why not like have a transition year and still make the playoffs? Like that's a win-win to me.
Yeah, no, to touch on your point about the bullpen, for sure they've definitely been the MVP to this point. They've really stepped up. And it's been a good and bad thing because I'm sure you've seen that the Mets bullpen is on pace for throwing the most innings they've ever thrown in a
Jesus.
season, which is not a good thing. It's not sustainable. It's just you can't have relievers throwing multiple innings or throwing 2 out of 3 days very consistently. So that is one thing that I'm worried about the bullpen is it's nice in a short amount of time, but when you spread that across 6 months, it's just not sustainable. You'll see people start getting hurt, like Brooks Raley just did. So I'm hoping
Big
that's one thing that we could
loss.
pick up is the starting pitching to start to be able to get deeper into games, 6 innings at least, to throw strikes. A lot of times they've gotten themselves in trouble with pitch counts because of too many walks, too many full counts. You saw it today with Mania. He couldn't even make it out of the fifth inning, and I mean we were spanking him, and he's walking too many batters, and it's just shooting themselves in the foot. So uh, I think that's the biggest thing I think that the Mets need to figure out is how to get their starters to throw more strikes and to work a lot more efficiently because that's only going to improve the bullpen. And I think the biggest suspect in the rotation right now has to be Hauser. I mean, the guy walks so many batters, and when you look at the rotation, you're not taking out Budo. He's earned his spot.
Yeah, big
Um,
time.
you can't take out Severino. He's been throwing the ball really well. You can't take out Quintana, and Manaya's been throwing pretty well. You know, he hasn't been going deep into games, but he has been throwing pretty well. So the odd man out is Hauser.
Yeah.
So when Senga comes back, what do you do with Hauser? You throw him in the bullpen, the long reliever. So it's a nice problem to have. You know, we have a few arms that can plug in. You know, you still have McGill out there. Yeah, I'm not sure if you forgot about David Peterson, but we have David Peterson. I totally forgot about him until like
Me too.
last week.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a lot of arms out there that are ready to go. We have Christian Scott in the minor leagues who's just dominating.
Killing it.
He could be a great piece that we bring up. I was saying on Twitter, I think yesterday or today, you know, I think he's someone that the Mets, you know, you give Hauser another chance this next start, and if he walks the world again, I think you throw him in the bullpen and you give Scott a month or two in the big leagues, get his feet wet, you know, get that initial shock out of his system, you know, and because he's on an innings limit this year, it's not like he can pitch the whole season. Have him come up, you know, get his feet wet and throw a month until Senga gets here, and then put him back down, send him back down. I think that'd be a good experience building thing for him. That would probably really help his next time up in the big leagues when he's here for a long stretch. Because he's only expected to throw like 125 innings at most this year. I think he threw like 88 innings last year. So, you know, I think he'd be good to bring up, see what he has, and if he dominates for a month or two, then I mean, it helps the bullpen. It helps the you know
Yeah.
the farm. It helps everyone. So I think you know the Mets have a good crop to choose from when it comes to figuring out, you know, if Hauser fails again miserably, then you know
Yeah.
how do they rotate? Lucchese's throwing pretty well in the minors. So you know they have a few arms that they could turn to.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't the
and
Phillies
then
do that with Nola? Didn't they bring him up in the bullpen first? I think in 2015 he came up in the
um,
bullpen, I believe.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I
You're right.
mean,
I agree with you.
a lot of teams do that. I mean, we did that. I think with Degrom. I think Degrom came up and he was a reliever at first, and
2014. Yeah.
then he moved into the rotation. So I mean, it'd be a good thing to just get his feet wet, you know, and figure out what the big leagues is really like, and the travel in the big leagues and just the routine and all that, and the team and the players, and you know, just get accustomed to what it's like up here.
Hmm.
Um, but then another thing, like you were saying, the other aspects of the team that have just been hitting, Tyrone Taylor's has been incredible.
That's your
Every
boy.
every opportunity he gets,
Yeah.
he performs offensively and defensively. He's hit a double and a home run today, and he hasn't started in days, and he just goes out there and immediately produces. Um,
He was a throw-in, right? I mean, think about it, right? Wasn't he a throw-in after Hauser? Because we didn't. They broke
I mean,
Hauser, and then they said, Yeah.
we didn't really send them much. I don't know. I don't know why they threw him in,
Yeah.
but I guess he was just an odd man out over there. But they threw him in. I'm glad they did.
Thank you.
They got to get him more time in this lineup. And I mean, they should have had him in the lineup this whole time, just considering we didn't have a DH like
Yeah.
Martinez.
Right.
But now with Martinez coming up, his opportunities definitely goes down a lot. But I think they got to work him in. I mean, Bader has been doing a great job, but I mean Taylor's been doing a better job. Um, so I think they have to figure out how they're going to work him. And I don't want to see Joey Wendell in there anymore.
Oh God.
McNeil should never be playing the outfield like he did yesterday. He's a good defender, but he's, as we saw yesterday, he's not great. He's not an outfielder. He's an infielder.
Hmm.
Keep him in the infield, and I mean, there's no reason why Wendell should be plugging in the infield. I mean, he sucks. I mean, I mean, we just have way too many good outfielders to throw McNeil in the outfield. And with this team lately, you know, the defense has been bad on occasion, and it doesn't help that our rotation and pitchers have been walking a lot of people just as a snowball effect. So, um, yeah, it's a little annoying when you see McNeil playing left when you have players like Taylor sitting on the bench. But yeah, I'm excited to see Martinez up with the team finally. See what his effect is going to have on all the players. From what's been said, he's a really great clubhouse guy. Spreads a ton of knowledge. So I'm hoping, or I'm excited to see his impact off the field, um, as opposed and as well as what he's going to do on the field, with adding that bat in the middle of the lineup behind Pete. It's going to be nice to see a nice, even more consistent lineup than what we've already seen to this point.
Yeah, we forgot about somebody too, which is a shame, and I apologize because we said he would be a catalyst for us if he, and we all, if he gets going, it's wild the trickle down effect when Marte is who he is. I mean, the guy, I I wanted that guy like we talked about before so many times years ago, and you know now that we have him and he's healthy, you see what he does to a team, man. And to me, he's a huge part of our of our success. And as long as he stays healthy, he will continue to be that catalyst.
Yeah, he's awesome. He seems to be back to form, stay on bases, putting bunts down, smashing the ball with power. Doesn't look overmatched at the plate.
Nope.
He's, I mean,
Defense.
he did drop that ball in the outfield,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
but other than that,
Just
he's typically pretty strong out there.
yeah,
But like you said, yeah, he's a catalyst. I mean, he sets the team up at the top of the lineup, and I love that. I love well. Also, we got to give a shout out to Mendoza. I mean,
Mandy.
what a first month for him. He's I think I like him more and more every day. Um, I like his attitude. I like his style of managing. I think the players seem like they know their role. They know this. They know when they're playing. They know why they're not playing. They know the lineup configuration. They seem to be comfortable, and they all seem to be on the same page,
Yeah,
playing for the same goal. And it's really refreshing to see.
yeah,
We've had a consistent lineup for the most part, pretty much every day, which is so refreshing. I
yeah,
mean, and that was the
yeah.
one thing that we were crying for
That's
in
your
the
biggest
off
gripe
season.
ever. That's your biggest gripe ever.
Yeah, I
And
think I would love to see the numbers of this year already compared to last year in terms of repeating lineup, or at least the defensive alignment or anything,
mhm.
because I feel like we've had a more similar lineup this year already than we did all of last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And that's definitely added to the success. I mean, it has to.
yeah. He gives me and I'm a fan of him. I don't care. Most people when they do bad, they go for him first, but he gives me Aaron Boone vibes, and not by coincidence, that was his second man in charge, and I've always liked Aaron Boone, and I think the players play for him, and that's who he gives me vibes, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, it seems like he has like a quiet confidence.
Yeah, Boone's
Um,
louder. Boone is louder. I'll give him.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's loud, very loud.
but like
It's hilarious.
the players, they love him, and I mean, how long was Mendy under Boone? And to me, it's not a coincidence. And that's who vouched for him. That's who said this guy should have been a manager a long time ago. So to me, is it a coincidence that he's up there? And again, he gave me Willie Randolph vibes too. So hopefully, it ends like that because I always like Willie. And did Mendy play? He definitely played minor league. Did he play
Yeah.
pro ball?
Did he play pro? I don't think he made it to the pros.
No. Wow.
I don't think so. Um, yeah, he played in the minors, but yeah, I don't think he ever did anything
Yeah.
uh in the big leagues. But I mean, he's been another huge. It's been nice to see him grow over the season, kind of like Beatty, kind of like all these players that we had questions about. Um, I think he's really shown that he's he has the pedigree to do well at the big league level in New York, which is not an easy job.
No way.
I mean, he was under some crazy pressure that first week, and if he got through that, I think that was a good initiation for him,
Oh yeah,
where he'll be able to perform under pressure moving forward.
that's for sure.
Um, so now we look forward to the next series. We have tomorrow off, and we move on to the Cardinals, who are not playing well,
They're struggling. Yeah,
which is exciting because this is the first time we're playing a team who's not doing well, who's not good, which is also scary because then this is the kind of team where the Mets kind of let off and they get whooped.
yeah,
Against
yeah,
they make stupid mistakes against teams like
yeah.
that. So we'll see how they do against them, and we'll see how JD Martinez performs with this team, and hopefully makes an impact right away because we've seen. Well, we have gotten unlucky the past few days. We face Webb. We face Glass now. We faced a couple stud pitchers, which is understandable if our bats go silent a bit. But it was nice. I feel like the baseball gods gave us one today
With Snell.
with Snell. Yeah, I mean, not even that he didn't pitch today, but the fact that they had to pull him 3 hours before first pitch, it really screwed their planning. I mean, they could have at least prepared with the spot starter, but they just
Yeah.
went full bullpen game, which is always tough to win.
Hey, how many? Talking about that, how many pitchers that were like targets of ours and other teams have just gone down like
Oh
flies?
my
Man.
gosh. Yeah, I
Amazing.
was thinking about that. A
Jeez,
lot. A
scary stuff.
ton.
Yeah. What do you think is? Do you think there's a factor? I think there's something. And I go back to what pitcher called out the pitch clock. I know it was obviously Cole. Well, no, he was sticky stuff, but I forgot what pitcher. I want to say was it Glass now that complained about it. That the pitch com. I know Scherzer did too, but it makes sense. I mean, now I'm starting to realize that it has to be a common denominator because these dudes are going down like it's their job, and it's a shame because as much as I didn't like that the Strider went down. I ain't mind it because he was in our division, but that's a shame because that's that dude's second Tommy John he's gonna have now, and how young is he? But there has to be some factor.
Yeah, well, I've seen, and I think you can see it just in the way that pitchers are built these days.
Mhm.
They're much more like power athletes as opposed to endurance. Um, I think they're more focused on explosion. They're kind of like, I kind of feel like they train like relievers, but they're starters. It's like they're more max effort, max torque,
Yeah,
but but they're starters. It's like you can't really maintain that over 150 plus innings every year.
no way.
So
Yeah,
it's I forget. I think I was watching MLB Network where they were saying how pitchers were just always running, run all the time, and you just see that a lot less now. Um, yeah, I mean, I think training has a lot to do with it. Spin and max velo is a big thing now. Everyone throws over 95. It seems like so.
that one dude with the
Um,
A's, he throws 103. I saw it the other
yeah,
day versus the
Miller.
Yankees.
Yeah, Miller. He's nasty.
He ain't gonna last though. Throwing like that.
Yes, that's unfortunate, but it's just not sustainable. I mean, the arm's
Yeah,
not really meant to bend like that
yeah.
over and over and over. But yeah, it's been an exciting season so far for sure. Um, I think to be at the point where we're at right now, uh, it's just encouraging, and to think that we've gone through such a tough part of the schedule already. I'm hoping we get that stretch where we're facing teams when they're just playing their worst, and we just roll over these teams that are just like the White Soxes and whoever is just maybe has someone on the injury list, and we might miss a number one starter here and there.
Right.
Because we need to get lucky a little bit in order for this season to work out with how everything has gone.
Yeah.
You have any other players you want to hit on?
Not players. I wanted to talk about because you were able to go to the home opener. I went to the Doc game. I wanted to bring up the stadium. I'm digging the new, not layout, but the new additions that they put in. Food.
The food.
Yeah, you were a critique and you gave it all. A pluses when you went.
Yeah, food's good. I mean, the food there is the best.
The brews, like they did a good
good
job, man. What else did I see? I know they redid the museum, and now that they finally okayed the project across the street, definitely Cohen has or starting to put his stamp on everything visually, and it's nice, man.
Yeah, it's I love going over there. I hate driving up there, but I do love being there. It's just such a nice stadium. We got to get up there for a night game so we can see Diaz come in with the light show.
Oh man, that's sick.
I mean, it's got to be epic.
Absolutely.
And the music in the light show is must see TV. I mean, it's electric from the TV, so I can't imagine what it's like in person.
Yeah, I was there when he closed for the Dot game, and that was pretty sick. You get hyped, man. If you're sitting down, you're not sitting down for long when he comes in. Yeah. And the dude, I don't know, it seems like he floats to the mound. It's weird. I don't know, that sounds corny, but question about Diaz. Does this scare you a little bit that he lost a little bit of velo?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he missed the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just now working in live games back-to-back days. He's not going to be 100% early in the season.
You think it's because of his injury? Because obviously pitchers they push off so much, and obviously he's no. Okay.
No, I think it's off of he's just not in mid-season form. Yeah.
Rust.
Yeah, I mean, you took a whole year off. You're not going to be top notch.
Yeah.
Back to back days. When your arm's he's still not in mid-season form. Like I said, it's just it'll take some time. I think if you see that in June, I think it'll be a little more concerning.
Yeah.
But I'm not too worried about it at this point.
His off-speed stuff looks like he didn't skip a beat, but obviously it's beautiful when he sets that up, with that 1-on-1 he throws. But no, I mean, when I was there live, he looked fine to me, and today he looked okay. But yeah, I mean, I just read an article about how they're already saying, is the Mets $102 million investment, showing signs already, and you're like, yeah, dude lost, and he had his knee fold, what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, also, his legs are probably not in mid-season form. I mean,
right.
He's just not used to the workload.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be, when you first start working out again and you come back and, you might be as strong for a little bit, and then it's hard to, you don't do as many reps. You can do the weight, but you can't do the reps or the sets. It's the same thing. I think he'll start building up on it, and I think he'll be just fine. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he's throwing that slider, he's not throwing that slider over well and all that, then I'd be a little worried. But that slider is so nasty. I think as long as that works, then nothing else matters.
Yeah. Well, one last MVP or early MVP, and we gotta also give a big shout out is the rally pimp.
Oh,
that dude, yo.
Yeah. I watched him on the We Gotta Believe
I did
podcast.
Too. Yeah.
He's a cool dude, and he's a real Mets fan.
He's a
and
comedian. Did you know that?
yeah, he's a comedian, and
Yeah,
it's I like him, and I
yeah.
think when Andy Martino said whatever
Oh
dumb crap he
God,
did, I
freaking
think
dork.
I just I didn't mind him before, but when Martino said that dumb shit,
Yeah,
then I really liked the rally pimp.
exactly. Yeah. Now I'm gonna support him even more because of that idiot. He said that like that's how he dresses normally. That
Yeah,
social media gave him that moniker of a pimp, but he's like, nah, dude, this is how I dress every day, and
yeah.
I just go and vibe. And I'm like, well, listen, bro, you're like a, what do you call it, a rabbit's foot, because ever since they started showing you, we got out of that funk. So
Yep.
keep on, he looks funky. He got out of that funk. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, I'm a huge fan,
Yeah,
and I mean, if the team is doing well and they want to use that as superstition, then I'm all for it. Whatever
yeah.
works, whatever
You
is
have a hit.
working, then just
Yeah,
do that.
we have a history of doing that stuff. We had the yellow bird with Cespedes. The
Yeah,
black cat back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I mean, it's always. I mean, there's always something.
yeah,
Well, I mean, baseball players are just superstitious in
yeah,
general.
yeah.
Um, and I forget who was getting interviewed, but they were like, they asked them, when stuff like that happens, do you guys take note of it or does it mean anything? And they're like, hell yeah, it does. Like we totally recognize when crap like that like is going on in the stands, and we embrace it, like we love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's a funny thing. He looks like if you've ever seen the videos on YouTube, it's the guy who does the voice for Linda on Bob's Burgers.
Okay,
But
okay.
he had a YouTube channel years ago before
Yeah.
he did Linda on Bob's Burgers. But it's the same voice, and he always plays like a New York mom,
Uh-huh.
like a really New York mom, and it's hilarious. And the way that he dresses in those skits reminds me of the rally pimp. Kind
Yeah,
of big fur, the big hair,
yeah,
and that's what reminded me immediately when I saw that. But
yeah, yeah.
um,
Keep it coming, man. Keep showing up, please.
yeah, I'm loving it. I
Yeah,
can't wait to be back for the next game. I mean, we're
I know, dude.
not going back for a bit, but
Yeah,
uh, you know, any game we can get to, it's nice. But we're
totally good
coming up
time.
from South Jersey. That weekend traffic is rough, especially in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when because going up on the weekend, going south on Parkway or
Yeah,
Turnpike, it is not pretty.
yeah. No, Sundays are easier though. I've noticed that Saturdays, me and me used to have season tickets, and we had the Saturday packages, and oh my goodness, it was guaranteed hour and a half traffic. But Fridays are easier, but Fridays a lot of times are 7 o'clock games, and Sundays, I went the Doc Gooden game was Sunday, and I don't think I ever went to Queens that fast from South Jersey in my life. I literally no traffic. It was smooth sailing up, GW, and it was great. But obviously, that's not always the same story every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Yeah. So, is there anything else you wanna throw in there?
Listen, this first month is literally what we probably are used to. Just a lot of up and downs, man. Nothing is for certain, but I think we're going to end it on a good note. The road trip ended on a good note out in the West Coast, and like you said, our first test was this first season, first month. I'm sorry, with facing a lot of hard teams. We did a pretty good job, I think, to some point. And JD coming, Senga's coming, Alvarez will be back. Lindor. Hopefully today was a precursor of him finally being who he is. And yeah, let's do this, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that full team together with Senga and Alvarez and JD in midseason form. Uh, hopefully we're in a position where we added a piece or two, and we might do something.
Yeah,
And the way it looks right now, if we just stay the way that we've been right now, we just ride that through July, then we'll be in a good position to make a move or two, and it'll be exciting to see. what this team has, and we'll see who's putting up false numbers at the moment, and we'll see who's the real deal. Because it's hard to put up fake numbers, over the course of a few months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be nice to see the fakes weeded out and see what the team's really made of.
Yep. No doubt.
All right. Well, it's the Miserable Mets podcast, back at it.
Yep.
And we swear we'll be more consistent. We needed the return, but we're back, and
Yeah.
back like we
Hey,
never left.
exactly. And what a better time than after the first month. So let's go Mets. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Rangers. What a time to be alive right now in being a New York sports fan. So I'm hyped, man. And whatever happens, next couple of weeks, I don't care. I have all those three teams right now. So
Hell yeah, you got to ride the wave,
yeah,
ride it while it's
absolutely.
hot.
Yep.
All right, and that's it for us today. Let's go Mets.
Let's go.